Hey everybody, Mixed Media Girl here live. Sorry for that Zoom at the beginning. Just want to make sure that everyone will be able to see. I went live a minute earlier than I was supposed to just to give people some time to tune in. And I'm also going to go ahead and go pull up the comments on my computer. So, 1 second everybody. And for those of you who don't know, that are my usual, viewers, I'm participating in basically this entire virtually crafty art festival today with a bunch of people. It's pretty awesome. So if you look in the description, the full schedule is there. Oh, I got it pulled up now. Okay. Hey. So, just a bunch of super cool crafters of all kinds, woodworkers and resin artists. And so I might be slightly the odd one out because I'm going to do acrylic pouring. I was trying to decide if I should do resin, but I figured, well, let's do something a little different. Hey, Carl. Hey, Jamie. And I'm sure I have some brand new people here today that have never met me or heard of me before, so please make sure you subscribe, make sure you like the video, and we're gonna have some fun. And then definitely make sure you check out the upcoming crafters. The full schedule is in the description, y'all. Thanks, the Dutch Turner. All right, so what we're going to do, yes, Mary Leanne, do not get caught by the cops this time. Although it seems like it might be good promo for me. So, I don't know. First thing we're going to do is I'm going to show y'all how I mix up paint. I am using Flotrol. And this is just a paint conditioner. You get it at Home Depot, Lowe's, etc. Unfortunately, right now, there is actually a bit of a Flotrol shortage in the world. So depending on where you are, it might be a little bit difficult to get some. But if you can't, there's other pouring mediums that you can use. You can also use glue. I prefer Flotrol, so if possible, I say go find some. And I'm just going to mix up a few fun colors that I'm going to use for later projects anyways. Hey, Jenny. Yeah, where's everyone tuning in from? I think we have people from all over the world. So we got Wyoming, Phoenix. I'm in Los Angeles. We had a fun earthquake in the middle of the night last night. Hey, Anita. Anita is actually right down the street from me. Ooh, we got Scotland. All right, I'm going to mix up some Arteza. This color is Pearl Marmalade. So it's a metallic kind of orangey, almost a copper color. And what I do is I mix 2/3 Flotrol to 1/3 paint. I just eyeball it. You can, of course, use a measuring cup if you want. And then we're going to go ahead and get these thoroughly mixed. And we got people all over the place here. Happy Saturday, everybody. Yep, never a dull moment in Los Angeles. Fires, earthquakes, riots, you name it. We don't get bored, I guess. All right, we got UK. Okay, so this is now nice and well mixed. I mixed the Flotrol first because it kind of acts as an additional binder for the paint. It's a little bit thick for pouring. If your paint is too thick when you pour, it can actually crack as it dries. So I'm going to add just a little bit of water. And I do that after adding the Flotrol and paint mixing, because you never know. Sometimes you don't even need to add water if you're using a thinner paint. And we're going for, there's a lot of food analogies here. We're going for warm honey or melted ice cream. Someone asked me to compare it to milk. I was like, I guess half and half. Yeah, once you've been doing it for a little while, You just eyeball it, and you'll know by feel, actually. When you're stirring it, you'll be like, oh, yep, that's right. And you can always, of course, do the stick thing to see how quickly it falls off your stick. It shouldn't be watery. It shouldn't be like super liquid, but it should run very nicely off your stick. So I don't know, hopefully you guys can see that well enough, but that is a very good consistency. And this is a super fun color. All right, I'm gonna mix up some fun, bright colors. I have quinacridone magenta, which is Liquitex Basics. Okay. Yeah, the earthquake last night was 4.6. Tara, this color is, you know what, I'll just do this. I'll put the bottles next to it. This is Pearl Marmalade. It's Arteza. It comes in their metallics set. It is amazing. Oh, this one doesn't need to be opened. Whoopsies. Okay. Well, I might have just broke my bottle here. That's okay. All right. Some of them have the little labels you got to take off. This one apparently did not. And then I'm going to mix up some, this is a phthalo blue. Nice bright blue. Once again, just eyeballing. Oops, I was going to put the colors next to it. Okay. And I definitely am not married to any particular paint brand, but I tend to get Arteza and Artist Loft paints mostly. But here you can see I have some Liquitex that I picked up from the store. So in terms of like pre-mixed pouring paints, I actually have a few more that I need to try out that I recently purchased. But my two favorites are the Arteza pouring paints and then the Artist Loft Ready Mixed pouring paints. And it just depends on what I'm doing with those. The Artist Loft is definitely thicker. They're completely different consistencies. So kind of depends on what I'm doing. This is, so adding a little bit of water. I tried the Deco Art and the Folk Art pouring paints, and I wasn't impressed with either of those. So this one actually needed less water than that one did. Okay, let's mix up this one. I mix and match my paints all the time. When it comes to the pre-mixed pouring paints though, the Artist Loft Ready Mixed pouring paint is the only one that I found that really does not play well with others. But when you're mixing your own paints, yeah, you can mix brands of paints all over the place and they don't care. And guys, please, 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 if you can, take a second and check out the other crafters that have already had their live videos. Make sure you subscribe to them as well. Allison, what I put in here first was Flotrol, not white paint. So if it was white paint, it would definitely change the color here a lot. All right, this one's almost ready. And CE Angel, I actually just bought this box of Amsterdam paints. I haven't tried it yet. I'm going to add just a slight little bit more water to this one, and then it's ready to go. Okay. Nani's Nook, do you ever pour your Flotrol through a strainer? I've noticed that Flotrol can be a bit gunky. Sometimes, yes. Definitely older Flotrol can. It's kind of like glue. Sometimes it has those pieces that are just literally dried. Okay, I think that's pretty good. So sometimes it depends. If it doesn't seem particularly bad, I usually skip it and then I just pull out any pieces at the end. Whoop, see, I broke my lid here. All right, that's all I'm gonna do with paint mixing. Does anyone else have any questions on paint mixing while I'm here? Actually, I might do one more color. Let's see. How about, this is a metallic leaf green. Let's just do that because I think it'll go well with the projects I'm doing. So Sandra says she's in Arizona. And it's had cracking because of the heat. Absolutely. Tara, I actually already have a ton of purple that I already mixed up. So I think I'm good on the purple. I will be using those. These are almost the same, but slightly different. I put these cups over them so they didn't dry out. It's really pretty purple. This one is, I think it's this one. The Blix Dioxazine purple. And then I also added some of this is the fluorescent violet. So anyways, that's a really fun color. So let's mix up some of this green. Aw, thank you, Lils. Yeah, anyone that wants a super chat or super sticker, super appreciated. Uh-oh, I missed a comment from Carl. Okay, good. Flotrol, this is Flotrol. It is a paint conditioner. It's generally speaking used by house painters. You put it in mix it with your paint in your paint sprayer, and it helps the paint flow. Eliminates brush and roller marks, improves flow and leveling. You get it at like hardware stores like Home Depot, Lowe's. You can get it on Amazon. Sandra, you just got to figure out a way to cool down your area ahead of time, but also you need to have zero airflow on it while it's drying. So I've made that mistake, like having my AC on in my garage while it's drying. And that actually cracked my painting too, because airflow can crack it. All right, so this is that metallic green. This is Artist Loft. Christine says, is there a difference between the white cap and the orange cap Flotrol? Not that I'm aware of. I think they just redesigned their bottles, basically. They have actually a whole new label, and some of the bottles are orange now. All right, so this one, I will see if I can show close up, but just as a note, sometimes, especially if the paint's, oh, it mixed okay. But sometimes if the paint is older, it might not mix in so well, in which case you just let it sit for a little while and then come back and mix it again. This one actually ended up mixing up okay. I usually like to pre-mix my paint the day before or even longer. And I actually generally mix my paint in these bottles, and they will last in these bottles for months. Yeah, the purple and the green are looking really well together. You'll see the color combo I'm planning here. And I'm going to do a, who knows the word? I think it's a quadriptych. 4 paintings in one. I haven't done one of those in a long time. And the last triptych I did was warm colors. So I wanted to use more cool colors this time. The only other color I kind of want is bronze. Don't have bronze or gold, but I can use this color actually. That'll be pretty. All right, I have plenty of paint here. So much paint. Okay. I am going to use 10 by 10 canvases. I fear that I will be done with my video too quickly. Tara, I have the marmalade color that I mixed, and then I also have here, this one is a metallic, it's Pearl Space Gray from Arteza also, that I mixed up. It's really pretty. Can't use all of it, but I could use some of it for this project. Okay. And then of course I have some other colors already mixed. So I'm gonna have to move some of this stuff out of the way. And guys, I'm gonna be on for like a whole hour here. So please ask me all the questions in the world. This is kind of the problem with acrylic pouring versus resin. Resin takes a lot longer. Acrylic pouring, you can be done in 5-10 minutes. Okay. Let me just check what's in this box. I do totally have another box of metallics, but it's in the house. I should have grabbed it. Okay. Clean up, clean up. All right. What is the best formula to determine how much paint you need for the canvas? That is a great question. I use about 1 ounce of paint for every 16 square inches of canvas. So that means for an 8 by 10 canvas, I'm using 5 ounces of paint. For a 10 by 10 canvas, I'm using, it's about 6 ounces, not exactly. Anita, if you go to my Etsy store down in the description, that has my split cups on there. Okay, how's the weather there? It is hot as the devil's rear end. I'm actually going to North Carolina on Monday. Pretty excited about that. Okay. And Flotrol dries clear. Karen, I'm not sure what, that's not the formula that I use. That would be not enough paint as far as I'm concerned. Someone asked, I think I missed a question earlier. If you have, okay, the pour paints, do you still have to add Flotrol? If you have ready mixed pouring paints, like the Arteza pouring paints, or these ones are the Artist Loft ready mixed pouring paints, you don't need to add anything there. I'm going to the Raleigh area of North Carolina. Okay, so I'm going to use 4 of these 10 by 10 canvases. And I'm going to have to zoom back out so that you guys can see all of them. And here's where I get worried because I'm very good at knocking things over. It's not generally a live video if I don't knock things over. Okay. So give me just a second, guys. I'm going to zoom back out a little bit so you guys can see all 4 canvases here. 1 second. My camera has like a super wide angle here. Uh-oh. There we go. Sorry about that. And it's also very difficult to control the zoom while you're live. Okay. So that's really zoomed out now. That's fine. Just ignore how messy my studio is. And good news, now that we zoomed out, I remembered I have a coffee back here. Thank you, Mary Leanne. I will say on the Flotrol, just because I know there's been some issues recently, they have a national shortage. On top of that, they also put out an entire like horrible batch of Flotrol that just smells really bad. But yeah. I can't really say anything else on that. I don't work for Flotrol. I don't know what's going on with their company. I'm blaming COVID because I think it's just more difficult to get supplies all around, and I'm sure they're having difficulty getting the things needed to make the Flotrol. You know what I mean? So, yay, Kimberly. See, Ket, I don't know that there's anything that won't affect the colors at all. Any pouring medium might affect it very slightly. Can you guys hear those helicopters? Okay. I am trying to think of what to do here. I think I'm going to, I was thinking about using a split cup, but I think I'm going to use a regular cup. Well, Anita, of course you can. You're right down the street. All right, I'm going to use just a 16-ounce cup here. So 4 times 6, this is going to need about, I'm going to just say about 25 ounces of paint total. So I'm going to fill up this entire 16-ounce cup, and then we'll probably just have to add some along the edges. So this is white Artist Loft Flow Acrylics. And Halevi, yes, the bad smelling Flotrol still works. I'm going to tell y'all a secret. There's an A on these bottles, and that actually stands for ASS because it has the bad smelling Flotrol in it, but it still works perfectly fine. All right, now here's the blue. And all of these colors are mixed the same way how I just showed you guys. Here's that magenta. I'm just layering the colors in here little by little. And this is the metallic green. After I have finished my paintings, I actually have a whole drying area, and I just put them up on these, what are they called? Painters tripods or whatever. Painters. But anyways, I put them up on those thingies. There's that purple. Use a lot of that. And go in with some more white. And I'm going to use some of this metallic, the Marmalade, I think it was called. Painter Pyramids. There you go. Yay, Anita. All right. Back to the blue. You know what? I definitely have other colors over here too. Let's see. This one is a metallic blue from Arteza. Love their metallic paints. I've been doing a lot of metallics recently. And then I have just a smidge left of this gold. Okay. So Mary had an important question here about pouring in the cup. For me, it just depends on what I'm doing. If you pour on the side of the cup like this, you're going to get a lot less mixture. But what if you want cells and what if you want mixture? Then it's probably best to pour in the middle like that. It's going to push the paint down. So when I'm doing something like a tree ring where I don't really want a lot of cells, I'll do the pouring on the side. Otherwise, I just go ahead and go for it. This is a really pretty cup of paint. I'm going to add a little bit of that metallic gray as well. Okay. So let me move everything out of the way so I don't knock it all over. I think this is going to be really, really pretty. Anita, I do not wash out my bottles. In fact, even if I'm changing the colors, I usually don't wash out my bottles. I will put just a similar color in there. Like with the gold and the bronze, I just put it in the same bottle and I don't wash it in between. And definitely not if I'm using the same colors. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to pour, I have these squished together. They're not held in the back by anything. And I'm going to just go ahead and pour here. And I'm going to go back through. Okay. Try to have fairly equal amounts. So yes, I pour these and then I put them up on pyramids to dry. So I'm going to go ahead and tilt these one at a time. Oh goodness. Is that ever definitely done a quadriptych. I'm totally going to get it on my computer right now. Actually, I'm going to tilt 2 at a time. Let's do that. Let's try that and see what happens. This seemed like a good idea in the beginning. And now I'm kind of like, what was I thinking? Well, it is working. So with something like a triptych or a quadriptych, they don't have to match perfectly. They just have to be basically a set, if that makes sense. There's not really rules on it. I will be using some of this runoff on the edges here. Because remember also, I didn't quite use enough paint to get full coverage. And if you're really smart, especially since we've got a lot of woodworkers on here, it would be awesome to just actually attach a wood bar at the back. You can just screw it right onto the backs of the frames there so that you could tilt it all together. And then just take it off afterwards. Would be really smart. But I didn't decide to do this until kind of last minute. Okay. So far, so good. Heather, I think I just answered that question. I did one a long time ago that was 5 canvases together, and that I did secure. It wasn't an acrylic pour, actually. But yeah, I did actually secure that to paint it, and that worked really well. That was a mixed media piece. But normally, I don't. Normally, I just kind of wing it. So at this point, I'm just, with my hands, taking some of that extra paint and just touching up the sides. And then I will be doing a little more tilting. This one over here definitely needs more tilting. And I prefer my lines to go a little more side by side, or side to side rather. So much pressure. Yeah, forget wood. Switch to paint pouring. It's fun. You make a mess. You make a mess. And I like that it's you don't really need a lot of equipment. I absolutely want to get into woodworking. And actually I joined a woodworkers guild near me. Of course, with COVID, there's not much I can do on that front. So I'm just gonna tilt these individually now, just to get kind of more the design that I want. Thank you, Jennifer. And Jennifer, I sent your package out today. This will work on wood, yes, but because of the moisture in the paint, I absolutely recommend priming it first. But yeah, I've done this on furniture. I've done this even on countertops. I've done this kind of on everything. Anything that will hold still long enough. The one thing I have yet to do is a car, but don't worry, I have plans. That is, I love that magenta. Thank you, Heather. Kimberly, the best way to clean out the split cups is to just rinse it out right after using. I personally don't even clean out mine though. I just set it upside down to drain and then reuse it, and I don't have an issue. So when you don't have quite enough paint, you end up stretching it a bit more. But I'm okay with that. I think these two at this end are my favorites. All right. The one cool thing about acrylic pouring versus resin is the work time. A resin, you have, you know, maybe an hour work time. With acrylic, you kind of have all day. Takes a while to dry. So at this point, I'm kind of just tilting them however I feel like it, just to get more patterns that I want. Trying not to drip on the other ones. And I'm so sorry. I know I'm not looking at the questions right now. There's a part over here I want to bring all the way to the side. All right, I think I'm pretty happy with that. That did not come out at all how I anticipated. That was quite the experiment. Tara, yes, I'm definitely still going to do a piggy bank. Absolutely. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hit up all the sides, and then we'll come in for a close-up. Please, please, please continue asking all the questions in the world. This is your time with me. Oh, Paul, you've never seen this process? Oh, you will be addicted if you try it. Get yourself some pouring paints. I recommend grabbing the ones from Arteza. You can get them on Amazon or at arteza.com. And man, just have fun with it. Pour them all out. You can create different designs. So I'll show you, since I have so many new people here, which is actually super exciting to me, I'm going to show you guys another technique. I'll hit up my edges here, and then I'll move this out of the way. And then I'll show you actually my favorite acrylic pour technique, which is called the tree ring. Okay. You can wear gloves. There is no silicone in this paint. Give me just a second, you guys. Let me go ahead and move these over to safety. If I was smart, I would have cleaned my drying area beforehand, but I didn't. Are you guys talking amongst yourselves and behaving? Well, I guess you don't have to behave. I would never know either way. All right. I'm so excited with all the new people. Okay. So let's go ahead. Give me a second. I'm going to zoom back in. This thing is so annoying. So everybody close your eyes. I'm not responsible for any dizziness. Ah! Shoot. I'm so sorry. Hold on. I did warn you to close your eyes. Oh, man. Whee! Is that even all in there? One more time. Hold on. Come on. Okay. Oh, there we go. I got it. I am so sorry about all that. Woohoo! Tara, I wear gloves occasionally. Usually just when doing resin. The ones that I've been able to find are these dumb ones, the disposable vinyl gloves. But hey, they work. They work. All right. So in the interest of conserving paint and supplies, I'm going to go ahead and reuse this same cup. Laura, if you can go to my other channel, it's called The Business of Art. Make sure that you subscribe. And there is a playlist on there of how to ship art, and it goes over all of that. So yeah, I have a silicone mat underneath here from Lowly Vefe. This is actually parchment paper though, because I have another project to do after this. And so I need a cleaner workspace. But normally I just do projects on my silicone mat and I let them dry there, and then I peel the additional paint off. Even with this, I can just move the parchment paper to the side, let it dry, peel the paint off, and then I use it in other projects. I use my phone. All right. For a 12 by 12 canvas, I need about 7 ounces of paint. There's my coffee. Whew, it's getting hot in here. All right. We're going to do this one more pour, and then we'll do a Q&A period. And then I'm going to tell you about the upcoming crafter that's after me. And yeah, then I will see you all next time, I guess. All right, so I'm going to use basically these same colors. And guys, just so you know too, I do have an entire workshop on acrylic pouring that I just put out. The link is in the description. And while you're there too, I have another online workshop coming up. These are all online. I do in-person workshops too when the world isn't ending. But yeah, those are pretty awesome if you want to learn. The upcoming workshop that there's a pre-sale on is Fluid Art That Sells, which includes acrylic pouring and resin projects of all kinds, and then how it has an entire business section on how to sell them. So, all right, let's do a bit more white, and then should be plenty of paint. Okay. Okay, so with the tree ring, and actually, do you see how this is a little bit saggy? So pro tip, for any canvases that are saggy, you just put a little bit of water on the back. You can spray it, or you can even just put it under the sink, and then you can use it right away. So I'm going to do that real quick, and that will tighten the canvas immediately. I generally actually do that also with any canvases if I'm doing resin on them. I will immediately do that before doing the resin. So pro tip. All right. I am so excited to show the brand new people my favorite technique. Makes me so happy. You have no idea. My face is covered in paint right now. All right. Here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and pour slowly in the middle. And I'm going to just go in a little bit of a circle. And keep in mind, what color you put in the cup first will be the one that comes out last. Now, I did reuse a cup, so we don't really entirely know what's going to come out last. It's going to be a bit of a surprise. But either way, it'll be pretty. So you can probably already tell why it's called a tree ring. All right. And now I'm going to actually take this a step further. Before I tilt this, I'm going to do what's called a Recca ring, which has been one of my favorite techniques recently. It was invented by Molly's Artistry. I'm going to take a stick and I'm going to drag it through here. Make some fun patterns. I usually like to go through 3 times, but sometimes I get wild and do 4. Let's do 4. I try not to make it too patterny, like kind of go a little wavy, you know. And now, tilt to your heart's content. I generally speaking go slowly towards the corners, and I kind of start to see how it's going to spread out. And then I'll use that to bring out sections that I like the best. Oh man, this one is gorgeous. You can probably tell why this is one of my favorite techniques. It always comes out gorgeous, no fail. And you guys, the key, for anyone who's newer, the key to acrylic pouring is the consistency of your paint. And after you've been doing it for a minute, you'll learn how to work with the consistency here. All right, 1 second. Roxana, I use about 1 ounce of paint for every 16 square inches of canvas. So take the length of the sides, multiply those, and then divide by 16. And that will get you plenty of paint to cover your canvas. What I found is that a lot of artists actually don't use enough paint, and you end up stretching out your design way too much, and then it ends up coming out horrible. So make sure you have enough paint. I'm going to bring you guys in for a close-up on this one. So camera's going to shake for just a second. Everybody close your eyes. I'm going to go as slow as possible. It's still zoomed in, so. But man, check out these colors. Yeah, this one did kind of look like a spider web. So beautiful. And you can wreck it in different ways. You don't have to do just lines. I've wrecked it with words. That works out well too. There we go. All right, putting it back. Trying not to shake as much as possible. But I think my blood sugar might be a little low right now. That seemed awfully shaky to me. All right. So much fun. So, no worries. I use, here, 1 ounce of paint for every 16 square inches. And you can pour on just about anything, you guys. Seriously. Like pour on vases. You can pour on tumblers. I just did a pumpkin for Halloween. Look how cool that is. You pour on just about anything, as long as it is not breathing, unless you have its consent. Okay. Heather asked, how do you prep wood for a pour? I would I just prep with primer. Make sure it's well primed because you don't want it to suck up the paint. Okay. James Garwood, resin has a different measurement. For resin, you're going to use about 3 ounces for every 16 square inches. So definitely less resin. Okay. And still got about 15 minutes. So let's handle some more questions. Also, real quick though, I'm going to put the link specifically right here to the next dude, which is Make with Miles. And he is awesome. He makes all kinds of things. Oh my God, did I say 1 ounce for every 16 square inches? No. For resin, it's 1 ounce for every square foot. No, 3 ounces for every square foot. What am I talking about? Wait. you were asking me about paint. Like I said, my blood sugar is a little low right now. So for acrylic paint, 1 ounce for every 16 square inches. 16 square inches specifically. For resin, you're using 3 ounces for every square foot, okay? So paint, 1 ounce for every 16 square inches. All right. Sorry about all that confusion. Average drying time for acrylic pours is probably I'd say 1 day, but it's going to depend on your temperature. All right, here is Make with Miles, by the way, you guys. And he does woodworking, all kinds of super, super fun things. Brenda, I have not tried an oil-based paint, so I don't really know what you would mix it with to have it work out fine, but I'm sure there's a way to do it. Where there's a will, there's a way. I just haven't particularly tried it. Heather, I generally speaking don't torch. With acrylic, the air bubbles will pop themselves, which is not the same for resin. With resin, you need to torch. Here's that pumpkin again. So cool. I actually have 2 on my porch. I don't know. I'm one of those people, you leave your Christmas lights up all year round. I still have my 2 pumpkins on my porch from last year. These are just plastic craft pumpkins, so you can leave them up. Anyways, yes, Brian, a 4x4 tile is 16 square inches, so you would only need about 1 ounce for that. That is correct. And 3 ounces per square foot for resin. That is also correct. All right, Tammy said, how long between resining and pouring a vase? So you can pour on a vase and then you would want to resin it. I'd say about 2 weeks later is usually sufficient. Jordan, this would work on a ceramic tile. You could do it on smooth surfaces. You just want to make sure you seal it very well. C. Ket said, what's the best way to seal your finished painting? Is it necessary? Acrylic paint is plastic, so you technically don't have to seal it. It's optional. Most people do recommend it though, because it brings out the colors and brightens it up. So I generally seal mine. I usually use just the Rust-Oleum Crystal Clear Enamel Spray, but other people use varnish or even resin. Okay. And Mary, if you're just starting out, yes, try a canvas first. Would a sanding sealer be okay as opposed to a primer for sealing the wood? I think so. That should probably work out fine. Thank you, Becky. You're the best. And then Tara said, what is your favorite thing to pour on? Definitely vases. I actually have a couple of vases. I can show you guys one. These aren't like finished. Oh, I have a tumbler here too. I'll show you. So here is a super pretty pink vase. It's not sealed yet. Don't drop it in the painting. And then here's a tumbler I did. This one is sealed and I put my logo on it. This is a cold drink tumbler, so it has a lid with a straw. I haven't decided if I'm going to try to sell this or do it as a giveaway item. Not totally sure. But super pretty. Lots of things that you can pour on, you guys. I've done my phone case. I would show you guys, but it's on my phone right now, which is recording this. So, but if you look on my channel, I pour on just about everything. I've done my light switch covers. Those are super cool. So all of the light switch covers in my house are poured on. Brian, I don't think that she was saying spray resin. She says spray varnish or resin. I usually get my canvases from Michael's, but sometimes Blick's or Arteza. The vases dry much faster. They usually dry within about a few hours. All right, guys. I think I'm going to go ahead and sign off for now, unless there's any last minute questions I can answer real quick. But please, please, please make sure that you go and check out Make with Miles. That will be the next artist after me, make sure you watch his videos, subscribe, etc. And then down in the description is the full list. So you can watch everybody's awesome videos from today. And there's still lots of demos. Make sure you check out Carl. He's coming up. He's amazing. So much fun. I generally get my vases from the dollar store, actually. The Dollar Tree carries my favorite vase design. That's this one I just showed you, is Dollar Tree. And they have a few different sizes and designs. Another great place is thrift stores or yard sales, or, like Walmart and stuff have them as well. And thanks to everybody that is new and just recently subscribed. I look forward to getting to know you guys all. And for anyone who's interested, I go live every single Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific on my YouTube channel doing resin and acrylic pouring demos. So if you're interested, I'll see you next Wednesday. And otherwise, bye for now. Thank you for joining me.